Yep.
Hey, everybody, we are live, or at least we should be. So, me and
Yes.
Kimberly had an amazing coaching conversation where I got a lot of great tips on the subject we're going to bring up. And we talked about it. We said, let's go live so that other people can get these tips. So, we're going to reenact it. You know, I hate to brag, but I was in drama in high school and really good. So I'm going to take you to scene. We're talking about what we're doing tonight. I had just let her know I'm going to a networking event, no big deal. And then we'll carry on the conversation from there. So I'll start the scene. Scene. Hey,
Action.
Kimberly, how are you?
I am good, Misty. How are you today?
I'm amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah. Why? What are you doing today?
Well, I know I want to increase the people that we get to influence, and I want to do that
Okay.
virtually and in person. And there's a networking event I just found out about. I am going to put on a nice shirt and head out to that networking event and meet people.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I
Okay.
love networking. There's nothing like, wait, hold on. There
Oh,
is nothing like talking and connecting and meeting new people and adding them to your sphere of influence. So what are your plans? What is your purpose? What are you hoping to accomplish at this networking event?
well, there's a couple things that we're doing. We have a company, we have a book signing, we have a webinar.
Uh-huh.
We're now
Uh-huh.
jumping and experiencing amazing results in our corporate training. So, I'm probably just
Okay.
going to talk about all of it. Oh, and a book. I got to tell them about our book. And I'm
Okay.
pretty, I'm an extrovert. So I usually get there and just chit chat.
Okay, so basically, it sounds like you're going to go and throw up on them. Is that right?
Not
It
that kind of
sounds like it.
party.
Well, it sounds like it. You're going to tell them about all the great things that you're doing. And let me say this, although that is amazing and awesome, you're going there to expand your contacts. Is that right?
Yeah, my circle of influence.
Yes. And because of you're doing that, listen, it's not about you, it's about them. So I'm going to give you 5 tips really quickly, and we'll do them, slowly. But the first one is number one, instead of you telling them about all the great things that you're doing, here's what I want you to do. Listen more and talk less.
Have you met
Can
me?
you do that? I have met you. And that's exactly why I'm telling you that. Because Zig Ziglar once said that when you listen to people, you give them the opportunity to you give them the opportunity to share those things that are going on in their lives. And as a result, you become the most interesting person, even though you weren't the one talking. And on
So,
top of that, by you
no coffee at
listening,
the
hold
event.
on, stop. Yes, no coffee. And with that, let me say this because you just interrupted, and that's something I want to challenge you not to do, to listen. Because when you listen, you give yourself the opportunity to hear why the person you're talking to needs you and the service you have to offer. But if you're talking about you and your accomplishments, what you do and how you do it, you miss that boat.
Don't miss the boat.
Don't miss it. Draw a picture of a lovely boat on your piece of paper.
Don't throw up on people and listen more, talk less.
And correct. That is one of the major tips that I think so often people do. They go in there and they want to tell everything about what they do and how they do it. And they walk away with people knowing more about them, but they didn't get that new connection. They didn't get that new lead. So, in talking to them and listening to them, you may ask them very pointed questions. What are you passionate about? What do you do for a living? Or what brings you out here today? Now, you ask those questions and then you listen. So that's point number 2. Ask questions. Ask questions of the person you're on the other side listening to. Make sense?
Mm. Will you give me an example? So if you're there promoting Made to Be Fit,
Uh-huh.
would you build in questions on asking them about maybe their fitness or what they're eating, or is that awkward?
Well, I'd let them talk by simply saying, well, hey, what brings you to this event? Or what do you do that you're excited or passionate about? And I'll tell you, when it comes to fitness and health and wellness, that always comes up in the conversation. I just have to listen long enough for them to open that door. Once the door is open, then it gives me an opportunity to share about what I do, which is number three. What do you do? Because that's what people work on. They practice their elevator pitch, they practice their 30-second commercial so they know what to say to other people. But what I say is number one, as you listen to the person, you've heard what they do, you've asked them what they do. Now the question is on you. What do you do, Misty? Now, before I let you answer, I know that you spent 20 years working at Oak Grove, and your natural tendency is probably to say, I'm a director at Oak Grove, right?
Maybe, because you've been with me and that's what I've said.
Absolutely. But you are now in another stage of your life. Although, yes, you are director at Oak Grove, but you're also building a business. And in your quest and journey to build a business, you as a director at Oak Grove doesn't help them necessarily fulfill their dreams and passion. Whereas on the other side, when they ask you, what do? You then have an opportunity to say, I help people unlock the passion that lives inside of them to build their dream business, to live the life that their heart desires. That's just one example. But what
Right.
you want to respond is with something that says, I help people. And you may even say, and I'd love to share with you or find out what your passions are. Right? Because it gives you the opportunity to now talk to them. And what I find that happens most often is that people will say, really, I have a passion, I have a goal, I have a dream. And you might even end it with, I help people unlock the passion in their hearts, to build the dream business or to live the life that their heart desires. What are some of your passions, John Doe?
Oh, you're connecting
So
it back
now,
to questions.
exactly. You've opened that door and now you're bringing them in. You're bringing them in. Woo! That's power right there. Right? So now John Doe has asked the question. You've answered. He's asked. You're in a conversation. You're having great dialogue, and I love it. But again, remember the principle: listen more, talk less. Continue to let John talk. But as John continues to talk, at some point in time, number 4 has to kick into place. Number 4 has to kick into place. You have to then think about how are you going to get John's contact. And I believe it's so important at this time to say, hey, John, I really enjoyed our conversation. I'd love to continue or have, point number 2. And in order to do that, let's do a couple of things. Let's exchange information. And I'll tell you a secret that I've had in networking for over 20 years. I am not so much about giving my contact. I will give it to them as a gesture to say, here's my contact. But the most important thing for me is to get their contact information. And you know why? Because once I have their contact information, I then will initiate the next action. Studies have shown that people who go to network meetings, most of them do not follow up. And we know the fortune is in the follow-up. Let me repeat that. The fortune is in the follow-up. If you're looking to grow your business and expand from where you are to where you want to be the follow-up guy or girl, okay? Get that contact information and you make the next connection. Now, I told Misty right before I call, one of the secret sauces is not only get the information, take a picture. Now that selfies are so popular, take a picture with the person. And when you do send that text or that email to say, hey, John, it was great meeting you at an XYZ event. I'd love to get together with you to talk about how we can support one another or how I can help you with your goal. And send that picture, because now we know that a picture speaks 1,000 words. They remember the connection, that moment and that time. So now you've initiated the follow-up, you've gotten the picture, and they're all in. And then you go to the next piece. And this is the last point, 5 points, 5. Last point. Now it's time for you to go work the room. You've sat with John 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever that is. I want you to have an internal clock in your mind. And remember, you're there to network. So you cannot spend the entire hour and a half with John. Although he's awesome, he's great, he's amazing. You need to work that room. If you want to walk out.
I'd be like, I gotta go, John, deuces. Is there a great way to end the conversation?
Absolutely. what I would say is remind John why he's there too. He's there to network as well, right? And so as you close out and say, John, I am so excited and looking forward to meeting with you next week over coffee. But really quickly, listen, I know we're both here to network and connect with other people. Let's reserve this conversation for next week. I'm going to go work the room and you should too. Boom. You reminded him, because sometimes people are shy and they're afraid to connect with people. And by you releasing them, I call it releasing them, you've just given them the authority to lead, and you've also kind of pushed them away a little bit too. Gotta go. See you soon.
Bye, John.
Yep. Deuces. No, without saying deuces. So I'll tell you, network is the secret sauce. And when you think about how to network, there are secrets, and I call it the power of networking, because that's how you grow your contact list. That's how you expand on your sphere of influence. You make that connection, but don't spend all your time there. Work the room and make those connections and follow up so that you can see the future.
So again, my 5 are: have my what I do, so it's concrete and clear and others can understand and don't throw up on them. Listen more, talk less. And I could do that by asking some key questions that help connect them to my niche, which is passion to profit. Take their card. I want the ball to be in my court so that I can connect back to them. If I have a card, that's great, but I want to be the one to be able to have the action to call them. I could even take a picture. And the last one is, even though it feels really comfortable and John was really nice, I have to work the room and be able to release that conversation so I could connect with a few more people and allow them to do the same thing. Because clearly we're both there to network.
That's it. I think you have it. Do you feel prepared?
Yeah, way more than I did 10 minutes ago.
All right. So are you ready to go let out your magic and let the world understand who you are and what you can do and how you can change their world?
As soon as I learn about theirs.
There you go. I love it. Listen. Well, you just heard it, guys. Today on Wisdom Wednesday, we just dropped a few nuggets on you. And our hope is that you can use them on your next networking event, regardless if you're live or you're virtual. Here is your opportunity to shine. Remember, there's something out there waiting for you.
Now go get it. Make sure to like and follow.